The 2022 MLW season came to a close with a momentous matchup to crown a champion. However, what might have been equally as breathtaking as the actual series was the venue for said series. That would be none other than SoFi Stadium in the Los Angeles suburb of Inglewood, California. The opportunity to play at this incredible stadium was not only a landmark moment for MLW as a brand, but also the game of wiffle ball as a whole. The 2022 MLW World Series would be a matchup between the downtown Diamondbacks and the Coastal Cobras in a best-of-5 series. And today on Wiffle Statement, we are going to recap the entire series and see who came out on top as your 2022 MLW champions. The Diamondbacks came into the 2022 season as the defending league champions and number 1 in preseason power rankings for the league. However, after winning their season opener, they would drop their next 5 games. Ultimately, the Diamondbacks squeaked into the NLDS with a 5-10 record to face the Eagles. The Diamondbacks would lose the first game, but then battle back to take the next 2, winning the series and absolutely shocking the Eagles. In the NLCS, it would only get harder as the D-backs faced the surging Midwest Mallards. However, once again, Jimmy Norp and crew were up to the task, and they would take the series win in 3 games to punch their ticket to SoFi Stadium.
I mean, for you guys?
Yeah, it's crazy. I think this actually means more to us than it did last year with all the adversity we went through this year. Glad to be back in the World Series. It seemed dark at times, but somehow this group managed to do it.
Quite the opposite to the Diamondbacks. The Cobras began their season as second to last in preseason power rankings. However, they quickly began proving the doubters wrong and ended the season with a 10-5 record, capping it all off with a walk-off win over the Diamondbacks in the MLB miniseries.
I love this team. This is the best Cobras team I've ever been a part of. We really bought in than previous years. I'm just so glad, so proud. A lot of years in the making for this 1 seed, and we're ready for the playoffs. Let's go.
I dare say that as a team, you could not hope to end your regular season on a better note, and the Cobras would carry that momentum into the playoffs. In the ALCS, they would face their longtime rival, the Pacific Predators. After losing Game 1, Baranowski would bear down on the rubber, and huge home runs by Sean Flynn and Drew Davis would lead the Cobras to 2 straight wins to send the Predators home and the Cobras into their first MLW World Series appearance since 2017. On October 10th of this year, it was finally unveiled to fans that the 2022 MLW World Series would be hosted at the one and only SoFi Stadium, a fitting venue to end what has been another incredible year for the league. The Diamondbacks looking to be repeat champions, cementing themselves as a league dynasty, and the Cobras looking to prove the doubters wrong and earn their first World Series win as a franchise. Going into Game 1, it was really no surprise who would take the ball for each team. For the Cobras, they would give the ball to Brendan Baranowski. Brendan had a marathon of a whiff season, playing a full MLW season with the Cobras and a full MAW season with the Great Lakes Legion. For the Cobras, he had been a workhorse on the rubber, throwing 31 1/3 innings to a 0.96 ERA with 76 strikeouts and notching up 7 wins along the way. On the other hand, the D-backs would give the ball to team captain Jimmy Norp. Norp ended the regular season with his highest career ERA at 2.20. Still an impressive number, however, in the playoffs, Norp had taken it from good to great and was coming into Game 1 of the World Series after ending the NLCS with a perfect game. To put it simply, this was set to be a very hard-fought and evenly matched pitching matchup. After the opening ceremonies of the World Series, including the national anthem and first pitch thrown by famed actor from The Sandlot, Mr. Marty York, it was at last time to get the show on the road. In the top of the first, Baranowski would chuck 3 strikeouts to work a scoreless first frame. Norp would respond with a scoreless inning of his own, courtesy of some great defense. In the top of the second, Baranowski would struggle with command and load the bases on walks. However, he would battle back to sit down Norp with an inside screwball to send the Cobras right back to the dish. However, with 3 straight strikeouts, Norp would keep the Cobras' bats silent, continuing to keep them off balance with a wide arsenal of pitches. In the top of the third, Michael Shima would work a 1-out walk, and Jimmy Norp followed it up with an opposite field home run. His first hit of the game could not have come at a better time. However, the inning was not over, as Jonah Heath had something to say as well. Those clutch back-to-back home runs gave the Diamondbacks a commanding 3-0 lead. 2 incredible defensive plays by Drew Davis would get the Diamondbacks out of the inning and send them to the plate, 3 outs away from falling behind by 1 game. A 3-up, 3-down inning would be all she wrote, and the Diamondbacks ended Game 1 with a dominant 3-0 win and a no-hitter for Jimmy Norp.
I did black out for a little bit probably. I showed a lot of emotion there, which is something I don't really typically like to do too much, but it was a big moment in the game in the third inning to take the lead over the right field wall. It's pretty deep here too, so I got a lot of it. Felt really good, and got to keep momentum going into Game 2 now. Good Cobras team, not done yet.
Game 2 would feature the same pitching matchup from Game 1, and the Diamondbacks picked up right where they left off. Norp chucked a scoreless top of the first, and Jonah Heath got the bats going with a solo home run. Baranowski would get out of the inning unscathed besides the 1 run. In the top of the second, Jimmy Norp would uncharacteristically struggle with command. He would load the bases with 1 out. The Cobras looking to score their first run of the World Series. Sawyer Bien would come alive with a huge single to tie the game up at 1 apiece. Norp would go on to strike out Flynn on a disgusting slider to send Drew Davis to the plate with 2 outs.
Fair ball back to Jimmy. Has trouble with it. The kick. I think he beat it at home.
After a wild play at the plate, the call would stand as Bien had beaten out the kick ball back to the backstop, and the Cobras would take their first lead of the series. However, Bien was not done yet, and he would come up in his next at-bat and work a bases-loaded walk to tack on another run. But after this, Norp would at last get that elusive 3rd out by striking out Flynn, but not before the Cobras had put up 3 runs to take the lead. Baranowski kept his momentum going on the flat hill by throwing a scoreless frame in the bottom of the second. However, this time, Norp responded with 3 straight strikeouts to start shifting the momentum back to the Diamondbacks as they headed to the plate, down to their last 3 outs in Game 2. The Cobras sent Baranowski to the rubber once again, trying to close out Game 2 of the World Series.
Outside, ball 4. Outside, he walked him. First and second for Michael Shima. Nobody out. To right field in the yard. Flynn makes the shot to right field. That one is gone.
But those hopes of a Game 2 win were short-lived, as a pair of walks by Baranowski were followed up with a flat riser to Jimmy Norp that he would not miss. With 1 swing of the bat, the Diamondbacks ended Game 2 with a dagger to the heart in the form of a walk-off home run to take a commanding 2-game lead in the series, and adding on a little trash talk to boot. With that win, the Diamondbacks were now 1 game away from becoming back-to-back MLW champions. Now with their backs against the wall, team captain for the Cobras, Drew Davis, made the decision to start Sawyer Bien on the rubber in Game 3. No doubt the team hoped that the young flamethrower would be the spark to turn the tides in the series. Bien came into the game locked in, working a scoreless first inning with a pair of strikeouts. The Diamondbacks also opted to change pitchers, and they would give the ball to Jonah Heath, who had only pitched 6 2/3 innings in the 2022 regular season and had not pitched at all in the postseason up to this point. Nonetheless, Heath came in hitting spots and worked a scoreless inning of his own. In the top of the second, Bien struggled to command his drop and would walk the bases loaded. With 2 outs, Norp delivered a dribbler off of the hands of Bien. A fielding miscue would allow the Diamondbacks to take an early lead once again, 2-0. But the Cobras had a lot of fight left in them, and they would load the bases in the bottom of the second. An RBI walk put the Cobras within 1, sending team captain Drew Davis to the plate with 2 outs. But Heath battled back and struck out Davis to end the inning with the Diamondbacks still in the lead. Bien continued to chuck on the flat hill and would keep the game at a 2-1 score, sending the Cobras back to the dish down to their last 3 outs. However, Heath's ability to command had run out, and he would walk the bases loaded with no outs. At this point, the Diamondbacks went back to the man himself and would put Norp back into the game. But struggling to warm up on short notice, Norp would walk the first batter he faced, and the game was all tied up at 2. Now the Cobras just needed a single run to take the win in Game 3.
Yes, he did on the swing. This pitch from Jimmy Norp. We got a warning there at 73. Got him, strike 3! This one will go to extras.
But with the bases loaded and no outs, Norp hurled 3 straight strikeouts to end the inning, sending Game 3 to extras. In extras, Norp and Bien would exchange zeros in the 4th. In the top of the 5th, the Diamondbacks would threaten with runners on 2nd and 3rd and 2 outs. But once again, Drew Davis made a spectacular play in the field to get the Cobras out of the inning with a chance to win the game in the bottom of the 5th. However, some timely pitching and good defense by the D-backs would keep the Cobras' bats silent and send Game 3 into the 6th inning, still deadlocked at 2 apiece. In the top of the 6th, Sawyer walked the first 2 batters he faced, and then a misplayed ball by Drew Davis allowed the Diamondbacks to at last break the tie, taking the lead 3-2. Another walk loaded the bases with Michael Shima coming to the plate, and he would deliver with a 2 RBI single to extend the D-backs lead to 5-2. However, the D-backs were far from done, as Jimmy Norp cleared the bases with a 3-run home run to blow the game wide open. But the Diamondbacks wanted to put the game even farther out of reach, and they continued to pour on the offense.
Bien devastated. Flynn can't believe it. Shima! The left center threw at the wall, and it's gone! A grand slam! Shot up the middle. Jimmy Norp single. Fair ball back to Baranowski. Nobody's at first. Oh, Baron, what a play! That ball's still a play! Gus will test him, and he's out of play. Jimmy scores!
When the Cobras at long last finally got the 3rd out, they found themselves at the losing end of an 11-run deficit. At that point, it was all over except for the tears. Down to their last out, team captain Drew Davis came to the plate as the last hope for the Cobras. Meanwhile, team captain Jimmy Norp looked to end the series with a 3-game sweep and claim the title of repeat MLW champions for the Downtown Diamondbacks.
What a pitch from Jimmy Norp! Pure dominance! They sweep the Coastal Cobras in the 2022 World Series! And look at the dog pile! What a moment for them! Shima performing wrestling moves on the boys. What a moment! They go back to back. The first time since 2015. It does not happen often. It takes a special team to do so, and that's exactly what this team is. As the commissioner of MLW Wiffle Ball, I present the World Series trophy to the Downtown Diamondbacks.
Yeah, you know, it's crazy, Kyle. There's times this year where it didn't look good. You know, we got off to a terrible start. I'm super proud of really everybody on this team. For Jonah, he got off to a bad start, but he really fired on all cylinders when it mattered. the stat sheet will never show how much Shima means to this team, things like that. Casey and Trey have a super bright future. I'm super excited to start getting some more reps next year because I'm very confident in them. And then just, I mean, all of us, we played so good when it matters, and that's when it counts. I'm glad we could get the job done. It's still unbelievable. You know I'm at a loss of words, Kyle. You know how I am, so it's unreal.
And I want to say one more thing.
Oh, one more thing?
Who's the poor man's snakes now?
Oh, no. We just started a hot topic in the comment section moving forward.
What a postseason, what a World Series, and what a year for MLW. Congratulations to the Diamondbacks on their repeat championship. Congratulations to the Cobras on an excellent season as well. And congrats to all the other teams and players that participated in this season. I'd also like to say congratulations to Kyle Schultz and Tommy Coughlin on another great, successful year for the league. Cannot wait to see what's in store for 2023. As for myself, guys, this has been the Wiffle Statement recap of the 2022 MLW World Series. I hope you guys did enjoy it. If you did and would like to see more top-tier content covering whiffs from across the country, please drop a like and subscribe. You can also follow me on Twitter at Wiffle Statement. Also, please be sure to tell me what you thought of this series and the 2022 MLW season in general down below in the comments. Going to close out the video here, fellas. Get out there and play some whiffs, and I'll be talking to you guys soon. Goodbye.